3, 2, 1, and we're live. Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Happy Mountain Belt Monday. There's already quite a few people in the chat, so thanks for joining us. We figured we'd hop on here a little bit early today. And, well, first off, we're going to talk about how awesome Clyde is. And then we're going to talk a little bit about horse properties and then just kind of catch up with everyone. But we thought we would jump on here a little bit early because we have a pile of thank yous from the Amazon wish list. So we'll zip through some thank yous. It is so fun. I said it last week. It's so fun when we get little packages. So thank you to Gil, Melody. Thank you. Lori, thank you so much. Jennifer, and last thank you from Crowlin. So thank you guys. It was awesome. We got hay nets, helmets, fly masks, SWAT, the mules, dog treats. Yeah.
A book.
Yeah. The mules are
chicken sign, which I'm excited about.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Beware the tiny raptors.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, the mules are never lacking on love, but especially now. So we appreciate you guys. So yeah, thank you guys for being here. We already have 100 people on. Blows my mind every time. But I thought we would kind of jump in. Alyssa's been editing all day, so I was kind of in charge of brainstorming what to talk about. And I was also editing. So we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants today a little bit. So I apologize.
That editing brain.
Yeah, got editing brain bad. Yeah. Potato says, what is this live going to be about? That's an excellent question, Potato. Do you have any ideas? No, it's going to be, we're going to talk about what makes a good mule and a little bit about what makes a good horse property. And then we'll just jump into any questions you guys have. So make sure you leave the little red mark or a bunch of question marks at the start so I don't miss them. But yeah, I thought maybe Alyssa, I feel like you're a little taller than me right now. Booster seat.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about maybe what makes a good mule or what people could look for in a good mule, and then talk a little bit about why we love Clyde so much?
Oh, geez. Well, I mean, everyone's got their own different thing, but I think for me, if I was going to go out and look for a mule, number one would just be that mule's like mindset, demeanor, I guess you could say. If they're just kind of easygoing and okay with stuff, it's like you can teach them how to be soft and all that thing, but that mindset is hard to teach them if they don't naturally have it. So that's probably the most important thing, I think. Mindset. And that's for like a trail mule or a mountain mule. You know, if you wanted something that you wanted to try cutting or roping or something, maybe something with a little more, I don't know, sensitivity would be better, but not for what we like to do up in the mountains.
Yeah. For what we like just level-headedness, nice and slow and easy. Yeah, sorry. I do want to apologize, actually, in all seriousness, for editing brain. It's a real thing when you stare at the computer. And I've been out in the horse trailer all day trying to make shorts. And Alyssa has been in the back room office, and she was editing a cool little like first mountain trip of the year that we took the other day. And I'm excited for that. We took Josie out. But it makes me just like dull and not very sharp and not very like entertaining. So I apologize today. But okay. So the next thing I had was, do you want to talk a little bit about that property and kind of what we're going with as far as a property update?
Yeah. So yeah, Jason went out. So that property had been for sale for quite a while, but it was 16 acres, and then they divided it. So it was a 10-acre chunk and a 6-acre chunk with the 2 arenas, and it doesn't have a house. We haven't really checked into much as far as like permits or floodplains or any of that kind of stuff. It doesn't have a septic. It doesn't have a well. It does have city water. So there's water to the horses. There's no irrigation. That creek that flows through it is irrigation canal. And I think it's just seasonal. It sounds like it goes fairly dry in the summer.
No, they said it goes all summer, but a lot of times it'll stop for part of the day or night, depending on who's pulling water. But it goes all year except for when it's frozen solid.
So anyway, we've been kind of looking at that place for a while, and but it was over our price range with all 16 acres. And so when they sold the 10, which I guess is contingent, but it hasn't sold yet. So it is potentially still for sale if it doesn't go through. But anyway, when they just cut it down to the 6, then fell within what we were like, oh, well, we maybe could afford that. And so Jason ran over there to look at it. And we're going to see what he thought. And then if he really liked it, then we'd both go over there and look at it. So it's a really nice place. The people were super nice. That indoor arena would be awesome. 60 by 120 is kind of like the smallest size of indoor arena that you can really do some stuff in. So it's nice that it wasn't any smaller than that. But there's no house, which we don't mind living in our horse trailer. The only thing is we lived in a similar climate to where that's at, and you get a lot of snow. It's very, very cold in the winter. You get a lot of snow. So plowing is a big thing, having a tractor to do that with, which we don't even have a tractor right now. So, and then just not having really a good place to park the living quarters, except for in the arena, which is fine. But anyway, ultimately, the biggest downside to that property is it's only 6 acres. So we really like it. If it were that price with the 16 acres, I feel like it would probably be a no-brainer. But yeah, with 6 acres, that's not a whole lot bigger than what we have right now. And I just don't think that would support what we want to do with no irrigation, especially. They would probably graze that down pretty quick. So
I was super excited about it after looking at it. And I was just picturing Alyssa riding all winter in the indoor arena. And like, I am always like way too optimistic. Like I just like romanticize everything, and I just focus on all the positives all the time. And so I loved it. It had beautiful mountain views. It grows good grass for not having water. But really, there's kind of 2 things that tipped us towards the side of the scale of not getting it. And that was, we both didn't have the gut feeling that when we were pulling out of the driveway here at our home to move down there, we didn't feel like we would be super happy. We felt like we would be a little bit sad. There will for sure be sadness whenever we sell this place and move. But the goal is that the overriding feeling would be excitement and positivity. And we would be kind of sad to move from here down there and not actually have a house to live in. What was the other thing? Oh yeah. So, and the other thing that tipped towards the side of the scale of not moving forward with that property was the 6 acres. And Alyssa touched on this, but it's like, and some of you did too in your input in the comments, it's like 6 acres would become probably a little too small pretty fast. Probably in the matter of a year or 2, we'd be like, oh man, well, now we're looking for another one, just as you're starting to get settled in or build a little cabin on it. And then you're like, oh man, I wish we had 10 or 12 acres. So those were the 2 things that kind of tipped the scale when I came back to reality and we looked at all the footage. And we're still like, you could have a lot of fun on that property and we would really enjoy it. But just for our specific goals moving forward, we're like, we want a little bigger. We just want something a little bigger than 6. After looking at that, I feel like 10 is kind of our minimum for our next move.
Yeah.
So,
like 20-year-old me would never think I would trade more acreage for an indoor arena, because that was like the thing, that I really wanted. But nowadays I'm like, no, access to public land and more acreage is really what we want. So So we'll be sad though. Like it's not under contract or anything. And when it does go under contract, we'll be like, oh man. But I think it's the right call. We've trusted our guts so far in our entire marriage, and so far it's been good. So before I forget, I want to say thank you to Michael Richardson. He gifted us $20. So thank you. That is super nice. And he says, have a great week. You too, Michael. That's awesome. It's off to a good start. So let's see. We got some questions going in. Is there anything you wanted to add about horse properties, or anything that we've experienced that we could pass on to anyone who's kind of coming up a little, like they're earlier in their journey than we are? I don't know. I mean, it just depends on each person, but definitely do your due diligence, especially with water rights. Those, we have looked at a lot of different properties over the years and have found a lot of problems with water rights on places. So definitely call if you don't know like what you're asking. There's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of good people to talk to. Usually the water masters are really friendly and they'll walk you through it. So They're not always easy to get a hold of, so definitely shoot them an email, because most of the time it seems like their voicemail boxes are full because they're probably running around putting out fires with all the irrigation stuff. It seems like they're very busy. So, but yeah, check into all that kind of stuff, and zoning and like covenants. We have found properties that are literally out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we're like, I don't even know how far away from the next house, but miles, and it's like 20 acres, 40 acres, no homes around, and they have really restrictive covenants because it was put into some sort of subdivision way back in the day or whatever. And so definitely check into that kind of stuff, because you could buy a place thinking you could do whatever, and then all of a sudden you get a neighbor that moves in and they want to enforce the covenants, and next thing you know, you can only have one horse on 40 acres or whatever it is, so that's something to really check into as well. The whole vacant land thing is tough to buy.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and we're still learning too.
Yeah, putting in power and septic and well and all that stuff, it just adds up really fast. So
it does. All right, should we get into some questions here? A little Q&A. If you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. If you're watching this after the fact, drop questions in the comments. I don't know if we'll get to them, but we could try.
Yes.
And we are going to do our Q&A ride. We still haven't even gone on that or filmed it yet. Alyssa made a post, and so if you have a question you want us to answer on that video, look back through our community posts, and we'll be doing a ride. We'll probably take Mesa out and answer all those questions. But for now, let's do some on here. So,
and if we haven't gotten to an email that you guys sent, we are way behind on emails. So you can try to resend it, and maybe it'll pop it up if we missed it, especially if it was a while ago. Otherwise, we're trying to get to those, but we have a lot, and
I want to say, I've already apologized once on this video. I will apologize again, because I feel like you guys are our friends, especially the ones here like that come to these lives, and I want to like talk to everybody, and I want to have conversation like back and forth and back and forth, and it makes me so happy to talk to people. But it's a blessing, but we're like running out of time, and just there's a lot, and the channel is kind of on an upward trend, and so it's kind of hard to balance. So that's why we'll keep doing these lives, because I really like catching up with you guys. Yes. And it makes me sad to not just get to be like total friends with everyone on here, and people that ask such great questions and leave such heartfelt comments. And when we don't get to them, it really weighs on both of us, and I think about it all the time. So anyways, so we appreciate you guys, and I do apologize. Emails I got behind. There's some that pop into my head while I'm driving, and I'm like, oh shoot, I need to look back and find that one. So we're trying, and hopefully I'll get better at it, but just got a little bit swamped. We have some exciting things in the works that kind of took all of our like emotional energy and a little bit of our time, and just like you get like super excited about something, and then you got to kind of come down at the end of the day. And anyway, fell behind on emails. So, okay. Questions.
Yes.
All right. First off, this one, someone says they've been binge watching from Middle Tennessee all day. That's awesome. We like the binge watchers. Keep up the good work. And then Ellen Tari says, how do you budget for your equines? Regular bills, maintenance, infrastructure, emergency fund, etc. That's a really good question. And I'll start, and then you can add to whatever I miss. So we're fortunate now that we have like our business fund is equine related stuff. So we have like a pool of like business expense, like a bank account, and everything equine actually gets come out of there, which is a huge blessing. It's like we write off hay, and I'm not a tax advisor, so don't listen to me too much. But
we have a tax advisor that just tells us what we can and can't do. So
everything comes out of there. But what we did when we were first getting started was we saved up an emergency fund before we got Clyde. I don't even remember how much, but it's like we were kind of shooting for like the ballpark of a colic surgery, where like that can be our emergency fund.
$8-ish grand, I think, last time we checked, somewhere in there. So I think we decided 10 grand would be our equine emergency fund. The chances of two of them getting colic surgery at the same time are probably pretty low, so we felt safe with 10 grand. So
and it doesn't have, I wouldn't even say it had to be that high.
No, that was just what we felt good about.
Yeah, I would say.
And you can get like horse insurance and stuff too, which we haven't checked into that, but we have friends that have that, and so that'll cover colic surgery and stuff. So anyway, you could check into that too.
But so we had a crazy emergency fund, but that's not super necessary for everyone. But then what we did is we used a thing called Every Dollar. It's through like Ramsey Solutions, and it's a budgeting app. And that's what we ran our personal finances through. So we would just pool money each month towards hay, and then we would just buy hay once a year, ideally, and so you set aside a couple $100 a month, and then you buy it in June or whatever for $2,400, that type of thing. And so we would have, I don't know if those are called sinking funds or what, that might be different, but we would set aside money each month for the big expenses, and then we would just budget in all the little stuff, like I can't think of anything.
Green and fly spray and all that kind of stuff.
And then
wormer and farrier care. Farrier care, if you're on a 8-week rotation, okay, every 2 months you need, a trim or new shoes or whatever. So you could split that in half, and each month it's going to cost you, $35 or whatever it ends up being for that 8 weeks. Divide that in half, okay, each month, save that back. And like with the hay fund, a lot of times we would like take out, a couple $100 a month in cash and then just stash that away. And then whenever we need to go buy hay, now we have an envelope of cash. That's our hay fund sort of thing. So, but yeah, there's different ways. But if you could break it down into monthly expenses, and then there's always miscellaneous stuff like fly spray and just, I need a new brush because Clyde chewed mine up or whatever it is, like then there's extra things, but that can kind of help out.
And then the last thing on that is we are fans of the envelope system. So if there's stuff you can pay cash for, tuck it away in an envelope and hide it from yourself. All right, next question. Good question, Ellen Tari. Sorry,
I'm good at hiding cash from myself, but then I don't remember where I put it, and then it's always fun to find it later. And I'm like, oh hey, there's like $100 here, or $50 here,
yeah.
So
here's one from Potato. Says, is the property still in Idaho? And yes, our exciting new opportunity is in Idaho, and the one that we made the video on that you're probably referring to, that one was in Idaho as well. So you're fine with me saying where that one was that I went and looked at?
Yeah, we shared. So I put it down at the bottom of the description. But anyway, there's actually the link to that listing. If you go back to that video and scroll all the way down in the description, I linked the Zillow listing for that property. So you can like see the property. And anyway, if anyone's interested. So
it's in Montpelier, Idaho. So it's really pretty country down by Bear Lake. And it's stunning down there. Awesome country. A lot of public land, a lot of rideable stuff in Montpelier, Idaho. So good question.
Yeah.
Doris says, who got the mount behind you? So yeah, that's an antelope. And I got it and Alyssa mounted it. He's really pretty buck. But
and fun fact, this form, which is what it's called so it's like a foam form underneath this thing, but it didn't have legs, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to add some little legs. So I actually poured foam in a Dixie cup and then shaped those up. So anyway, I thought it was artistic and neat.
It is. I love that. It is very artistic. Okay. So I'm getting way behind on questions. Today's a great day for some quick hitters, right?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I'll try and catch up though. Have y'all ever looked at property near Clark Fork? I've been there many times and it is beautiful. We haven't looked really seriously at properties near there, but I know exactly where you're talking about, and it is beautiful. We went to an archery shoot out in that country, and it's super pretty. It does get really snowy out there in that area, but And Potato says, there's trail rides and stuff like that out there. Yeah, it's beautiful country. Okay, let's see. What else we got? What do you think? Who do you think is the most life-changing of all your animals? That is a good question.
Our current ones or any of them?
Let's go any first.
Probably my first horse, Brandy.
Yeah.
For me.
And then I'll do of our current animals. It's almost impossible to not say Clyde because he was our first mule, and getting mules has totally changed our lives and taken over our lives in a good way. But then honestly, probably then it would be Rooster would be the other one. So I get totally left out of this deal, but it would probably be Clyde first because he was our first equine back after years of not having them. And he was a mule, which was kind of a wild card. And we're so thankful to be in the mule community and to have our mules. And then Rooster, he's just the coolest Mustang ever. And I'm sure you guys have watched his videos and seen that Alyssa always wanted a Mustang from the time she was a little girl. And he's just like the sweetest horse. He's absolutely stunning. So probably of the ones we have now, it would probably be Clyde and Rooster for us, like as a family. But then obviously my Riata is just my favorite. She's amazing. So
and Clyde, I mean, he's sort of the reason we have even a YouTube channel. Because when I got him, you know, I'd been without equines for, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years. And it felt like forever. And I look back now and I'm like, well, it wasn't that long, but it seriously felt like half a lifetime. We couldn't even watch horse videos. Jason would want to watch like some sort of horse video and I would just start crying because I was so sad that I didn't have a horse. So we couldn't, I was like, once we get a horse, I can watch these, but until then I can't. So when I got Clyde, I was so excited and he was very green, as you saw on that video. Like, and so I was like, I want to journal this whole journey. I have started a journal. Like I started a journal for Honey. I really am not good at keeping up with them. So I was like, well, I'm going to post it all on an Instagram page because I always have my phone and I'm always taking videos. And I don't even know how you did that. Splash coffee on me. I'm always taking pictures and videos and stuff on my phone. And so I'm like, I'm just going to post these on Instagram. And if I want to write a little kind of like a journal entry, you know, something I can, if not, whatever, we could just like look back and it's there. And then people started following along, which was so crazy to us. So anyway, we started off with our Instagram and then Riata came along. So then we were journaling like her deal. And so it just grew. And then we decided to come over to YouTube and kind of continue that journey. So yeah, he's kind of the reason we started all this.
Yep. He's responsible for all
Yeah.
this. Pitbull is asking what happened to the houseless property. And we talked about that a little bit, just a little bit ago. But we decided to pass on it because of gut feeling and is probably a little too small. So, and Bush Pony Beth is on here. And I think I saw earlier you said you had a good day and a win with your mule. So that made me happy to see. Congratulations. And she asks, what clippers do you use for manes? Is it cordless? We use the same clippers that I shaved my head with.
Yeah, I think we have a pair of is it Oster?
Maybe.
I don't know how you say that. You guys probably know how you say that. Anyway, I'm probably saying it wrong. But we have those that we just got a couple years ago and they worked well. We're really bad at like getting new blades and taking care of our clippers. So
we just leave them in the tack room or under the sink in the house if I'm using them. And yeah, but they work actually really good.
Yeah, we have an old pair of, I can't even remember what those are actually right now, that Jason uses or has me use. Hey, I am really proud of how I cut his hair last time. I faded it really well, I will say. It looks good. It needs to grow out on the top a little more, but I was really proud of myself. So
yeah, she actually did do a really good job. We didn't even have a fight. Usually we have a fight when she cuts my hair for some reason. He's like a
little kid. And I'm like, just hold still. And then I'm like trying to get it right. And he goes, nah.
All right, moving on. Okay, another question. Okay, we got through clippers. Oh, Jesse says, I think you're absolutely right to trust your gut on this. It was gorgeous and nice, but if you need more land, I think holding out for the right one is the best move. The Lord will bring the right one. And I think that's exactly right, Jesse. Thank you.
It feels crazy to pass on such nice facilities, but I think we'd be sitting there in a couple years being like, oh man, I wish we had more than 6 acres. So
yeah. Is it smart to have equine insurance? For sure. It helped me out in the first year I had my horse, not knowing his past medical history. Yeah,
that's it can definitely be. You know, Dave Ramsey kind of talks about what like self-insuring.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can save up the money and then you don't have to pay the insurance, you know, maybe that's I don't know, might be a wash. But if you don't have the emergency fund, I don't think, and you can afford the insurance every month, I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. I don't know how any of that stuff works. So just make sure you're with a good company that actually covers it and, you know, do your due diligence there. I don't have any to recommend because we just don't have insurance, but
yeah. I lost my spot on the question, so I apologize if I skipped someone. But Seahorse Guitar says, when you take rides in the mountains, do you know what type of mileage you typically do? An average like good ride would be around 10-ish. We have really steep country here, and so we usually don't go super far. And an example of a short ride was we just took Josie out, like I said earlier, for the first time, and it was like probably a 3-mile even round trip. It was like a mile and a half out, tie him up, let him just hang out, and then we went for a little hike and then come back. So we're starting slow, but a good long day in this country would be about 10 miles.
It was also 1.5 miles out and like 1,000 feet of elevation gain.
Right.
So it's so steep that if your equines aren't in good shape, like Josie, we want to be nice to Josie, then you just can't go that far.
So. Little skinny fat Josie.
Yeah. She needs to build some muscle. So we just take it easy on Josie.
Let's see here. Here's another red question mark from Jesse. What do you think is a good amount to have saved as an emergency fund for one equine? That's a really good question. And I want you to email us too, Jesse, because I want to hear an update on you guys' situation, how things are going, and hopefully I'll see it. But I honestly feel like if you had $2,000 set aside, you'd feel good. I would feel good. If you had $2,000 and one equine, I'd be like, that's going to
cover
sweet.
Most stuff.
Yeah. That's just kind of me personally.
I mean, yeah. And like we talked about, a colic surgery can be really expensive. Knock on wood, we've never needed one.
It's super rare.
But we did have timber impact. She made it through without needing surgery. This was when she was like 1.5 years old, 2 years old. So anyway, we've had some scares, and it was nice to know that it was there. If the vet called and said, hey, we got to do surgery, we could just be like, yes, do it, But that being said, it's whatever you can afford. And I don't know. I think like the next like most expensive kind of surgery that I hear a lot of people doing is like an eye removal. And last time I checked, that was like $3,000. It might be more now. So in different vets, it really varies. Like I've had vets in Oregon that were so expensive, like just to stitch up a little wound and stuff. It was like $1,000 to get out the door. And then here in Idaho, we're so thankful for our vet that we have. They're really reasonable. And so it's always very affordable. So,
yeah. Yep. But knock on wood, you'll just have like a good average experience when you get your equine, and you won't have to even use that emergency fund. You'll just sleep good at night knowing it's there.
Yeah.
Here's one from Lisa McGill says, have you all visited Ramsey Solutions in Tennessee? Our son works for Dave Ramsey in Franklin, and we love that you share your story for becoming debt-free.
We have not.
We've talked about it a little bit. We do most of our traveling for either like hunting or going riding in fun places. But we were like, maybe if we could ever pay off our mortgage, maybe we would go do like the debt-free scream.
Yeah, that was kind of our thing. We're like, I don't know, maybe if we pay off our mortgage, then we'll go. Yeah. So
I like watching those when we were paying off debt. It was like when we needed motivation, we would go on YouTube and watch debt-free screams and be like, yeah, we can do it. Keep going. Yeah. Let's see. All right. And Lisa, that's super cool that your son works for Ramsey Solutions. That's awesome. They've helped a lot of people, and their system worked really well for us.
Yeah.
Pitbull says, sorry, I was late. Yeah, no worries. You can always hop on and ask questions. And if we've already answered them, you can just go back and watch the answer earlier. So fire away. Paso Girl says, you had a red mule at one point. Did you sell her or him?
Yes. Cedar went to an outfitter over in northern. Would you go
like by Riggins, Idaho, like western by Hell's Canyon country? Yeah. Yep. But we love Cedar, and we think about her often.
CDP. Yeah.
It's hard to rehome them, and it's like that's kind of our whole plan is to gentle and rehome Mustangs, and we're still not sure how that's going to go. Like it's really fun to get them and really rewarding to work with them, and really sad to find new homes for them. But if you rehome them, you can help more. So
yeah, and we've been talking about it. Like it's harder to rehome ones, like even like Taz, who kind of need to find a special person that has experience. And I don't know, and like Cedar, same thing. She went to like someone who had packing experience and it worked around a lot of mules. And so you have to find them that right home. And sometimes it's really, really hard. And then even if you do your best job, it's like you don't really have, you can do buyback stuff and things like that, but you don't really have control over their life once you sell them. I mean, that person could do whatever. So,
Yeah.
and their circumstances could change. Maybe they have every good intention, but who knows, so it is tough because once you do sell them, it's like, well, it's kind of out of your control. So it just makes it tough, and you just wish the best for them, and you do your best to find them a really, really good home. But at the end of the day, that's about all you can do. So
Yeah.
So it does make it a little difficult sometimes.
Yep. You just try and set them up for success.
Yep.
Here's one from a little more altitude. It says, will we get a Jason and Riata video and how Jason got into equines? So Alyssa kind of, she put together Riata's whole story, and it had a little bit of my background in it, not to the extent that she shared her background, just because I wasn't raised around horses. So I don't have much of a background. I just got into horses after college. So what's the name of that video?
So I don't remember, but I just posted, if you go back on our posts, maybe I'll repost Riata's video again too. Maybe I'll make another post. But I thanked everyone for their comments. I didn't get a chance to respond to everyone's comments, and you guys like literally made me tear up. And so I'd start reading them and like commenting back, and then I would just like, I can't do this
So
right
you
now.
get too emotionally
exhausted. It was so amazing. You guys are awesome. But anyway, I posted a huge thank you, because there were so many of you I did not get back to. There was so many comments on that I really wish I could have responded to. So I posted Riata's link to her video in that post. I don't know if that helps. Like I said, I'll make another post with Riata's, but it's about a year ago that we posted that video of Riata's backstory. And then we kind of went over Jason and his backstory. We had a Q&A, our last Q&A that we did, which was, I don't even remember when, probably a year
like the
and
full
a half
video,
ago,
not the live,
maybe a year ago. Yes, where we went out and rode and answered people's questions from last time we did this. So we asked you for questions, and people came up with questions that they, wanted to ask us. And so we answered those while we went for a ride. And so one of them was like, how did you get started in equines, I think. And so we both kind of told our story on that. So anyway, if you want to go back and watch those, you're welcome to. So
it's worth watching the Riata video, because she has come a long way and is, I don't know, it's kind of fun to get to know their backstories. If you have to look at them every week on our videos, it's kind of fun to know like where they came from and their history. So it's probably worth watching. It's a nice short video.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another question. And it's one that I missed earlier. It's from Carrie Preeb. It says, dog training has been my hobby for 30 years. I don't understand why horse people are so against it. From watching all your videos and others, horses and dogs don't seem too different. There's like supposedly a big difference in the predator versus prey, but it's very similar as far as treating them fair. There's a ton of similarities you can draw, in my opinion, when I'm certainly no professional dog trainer.
Fair but firm, and I'm sure there's different ways. It's all about reading body language and working with that animal where they're at. And so there is a lot of similarities, but horses and dogs definitely think differently in a lot of ways as well. So there is some big differences, but
yeah. My thing jumped around again, but shoot, what? Oh yeah, that was what I was laughing at. There it is. Jesse says, does Clyde even know the impact he's had? LOL. Probably not. He's great though. No, he's just aloof out there.
He's just
wandering
aloof.
around.
That's a good word for him.
Yeah.
He's just aloof.
He doesn't know how much everyone loves him.
No.
Here's a question.
It would go to his head if he did.
Yeah, it would. Here's a question from Rayleigh Allen. Says, hey, I'm Rayleigh. I've talked to y'all before and watch every video. I'm 13. I got another mule today and have another question. Is a mohair cinch required for a mule? First off, awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah,
good for you. You should let us know the name of the mule and what it looks like and all that fun stuff in the chat.
No, it's not. Actually, Jason's mule, she has really, really sensitive skin, we've noticed. And so we actually just bought her a fleece cinch because her mohair cinch kept galling her, even like not even long rides. She just has pretty sensitive skin. We've tried like a air ride cinch and just a regular neoprene cinch, and all those galled her. And so far the fleece cinch, and it's made by Mustang, I think that's the company
I
name.
think
I
it's
think
just
it's just
called Mustang.
Mustang.
It's
But
not a high quality thing.
It's not, but it's like narrower, and that just worked really well for her. She has like a lot of wrinkles in her armpit. Anyway, so no, I would just try whatever cinch you normally use on your horses, or if you have or your other mule. You don't have to use a mohair, but it might not work for that mule, and then just adjust accordingly. So, but yeah, Riata, we've tried about every kind of cinch there is, and finally found one that works for now. Anyway, so
yeah, it works way better. And I was kind of against it. I was like, I don't want a stupid, cheap cinch, but just because of the way it's tapered in her armpit, it works good. So, yep, you do not need mohair. Good question though, and congrats on the new mule. That's exciting.
That's so exciting.
Here's one from Janine. Janine Chase says, are you going to Montana Mule Days in Hamilton and already Ty Evans Clinic in June? I may try a trip. We're not sure. Hamilton is not a terribly far drive for us, and we've always wanted to go to that Montana Mule Days. Last year, we were at the Ty Evans Clinic right before it, but we had to hit the road, I think probably just to regroup and go to another clinic.
Well, and also that was the trip that Mesa got out and went gallivanting around the neighborhood and tore her face open. So
we didn't know yet, but we would have had to miss it anyway.
But but we were headed home to check on things, and we were 4 hours late.
To answer your question, we would like to go to that Montana Mule Days. I've heard it's a really fun event, but we're undecided so far. And if any of you guys ever see us at anything, please come say hi. At first it was really weird and kind of uncomfortable when people would come say hi, but we've met some of the nicest people through this channel. So if you see us at any kind of like horse sale or mule days or Ty Evans Clinic, we would love to meet you and get to talk to you. It's like we can connect a little bit on here, but we've been blessed with some really good connections in real life as well. So please say hi if we see you.
I'm socially awkward, but I appreciate you saying hi. So
we're both introverted, and so if we get bombarded with people, it gets weird.
One time I was trying to get the door there was like a double door. I don't even remember what restaurant it was in, but Jason still makes fun of me because I tried to get the door for her, but then she kind of got hung up at the other door. So I kind of tried to get both doors, and then somehow I just ended up spinning in a circle. And Jason was like, oh, wow.
It was classic. It was awkward for everyone in the building.
I was just trying to be nice.
Just
made it way worse.
With our hands.
It wasn't quite that bad, but yeah.
I was watching. Yeah. All right. But yeah, seriously, say hi if you see us somewhere. I saw a question. Someone said, crud, I lost it. Are you going? Oh, no. Someone asked if we were going shed hunting anytime soon. And tomorrow's video, actually, on this channel, on the main channel, we went and looked for elk antlers with Josie, Clyde, and Riata. So stay tuned for that one. It was super fun. Let's see. What part of Idaho are you in? My Gramps Ranch was outside of Chalice, Idaho. That's awesome, Cinnamon. We love that country, and we live close. We're in eastern Idaho. So good question. It's cool ranch and country out here in eastern Idaho. Sherry Wendland says, how's the honey training coming along? Yeah. I've got to feed her out of my hand a bunch lately, so that's my highlight.
I feel like she's taming down.
She, in general, taming down, just not around the face, no touchy around the face. But as far as just being chill and enjoying life, she's just kind of creeping along. We're intentionally not putting a ton of pressure on her. We've always talked about the benefit of having time on our side, and so we're using that to the full effect, basically. And
we've had a lot of stuff going on lately where I just haven't I've been working with her every day, doing at least hanging out with her, I should say, not really even working with her.
Did we post a picture of you sitting in the feed bin?
I don't know.
She'll sit in the feed bin, and while Honey's eating, we have a big silver water trough that she eats her food out of since she's in the sandy round pen. And so Alyssa just sits in there, and Honey eats off of her lap and hangs out, and Alyssa gets her Mustang time, and Honey gets her human time.
Under the chin and on the little jaw. And for the most part, she's pretty good with it. Every once in a while, she's like, oh, geez, this is kind of scary. But for the most part, she's pretty good with it. But yeah, so we have some, we we've been thinking of kind of the next step with her, and so we kind of have a game plan there. But I want to be consistent when we start with it, and we've just had some really crazy, like positive things come up lately, but we've been really busy with those, which is going to change a lot of things in a good way, hopefully.
And we're not trying to be cryptic. We just want to
No.
make sure everything
We just-
goes
yeah,
through,
we
and
just
then
don't
we'll fill you in
really-
as soon as we know. We will
know.
be too excited to keep it.
Kinda
We
don't want to jinx ourselves, I guess. So.
we won't intentionally keep anything a secret.
Yes.
But I saw a question that didn't have a red question mark. A little more altitude says, is Josie a keeper even if she doesn't get big enough to ride?
We have gone back and forth on that. We're like, well, we'll just keep her to pack. We obviously love Josie very, very much, and she's such a cool little mule. I mean, she's very cool looking too, but she's just, her personality is such a neat little mule.
She is.
And I'll just say, if we ever did sell her, she would have to go to such a special home. It would really have to be someone we know would like keep her forever and we were like close with, I think.
Yeah, I can't imagine her pulling out of our driveway ever. Like she's just, we got her and she was supposed to be for resale for like a day, but after that we were like, nope, she's staying with us. And it's been like in our hearts that she's just a forever mule. And so it'd be really hard to like make that switch to see her leaving. So even if she's too small, we'll probably just keep her and love her and pack her. And it's nice to have a small packer. Like it's just easy to load. And, you know,
I could like load her from one side, this pack, and then
set it over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good question though. I mean, Lord willing, we'll just get to keep her forever and pack her and use her that way. And maybe she'll still grow. There really is with mules. There's a chance that she'll still grow.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Here's one from Sarah. Says, do you get your equines teeth floated? If so, how often? Yeah, we do. It seems like it's more like once every 2 years. I think ideally we would do it every year. But
yeah, but every time we bring them in for Coggins and we're like, will you check their teeth? And they'll like take a look in there. And all of ours are still fairly young. Like Riata is our oldest and she's turning 10 this year. So Claude's turning 9. And then we have Taz is 8, but he had his teeth done recently. Actually, we had him checked out when he had his whole bladder thing checked out. His teeth look good. So then we have what, a 3-year-old, not including Honey because we just got her, but a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and another 3-year-old. So they're all very, very young. So anyway, so far they haven't needed a whole lot of dental work because they've all been pretty good. But we do have them look at them whenever they're in there, and if they need them done, then we'll do them. But so far, we've only had them done a couple times, and they've just been good. So
yeah.
And Clyde drops a lot of grain, and I've had him like double check his teeth, and there's nothing in there. So he's just a messy eater.
He's nothing in there.
There's nothing in there.
Just gums.
His teeth are normal. There's nothing weird in there. So yeah.
All right. Before I forget, Jesse and Dawn, thank you guys. You guys both. Jesse gave $9.99 and Dawn gave $4.99. So thank you guys. That is awesome.
Fun
guys
fact
are the best.
About Clyde is he actually has 2 extra teeth. They just are teeny tiny, and we don't really know. The vet was like, I don't know. And they tried to pull them, but they're pretty deep in there. And so we're like, let's just leave them. And as long as they don't cause problems, it's fine. But he has like gaps in between his front teeth because he has tiny, tiny little teeth that are sticking out right there. It's really, really interesting. And the vet was like, I've never seen this before. So he's very unique.
Yeah.
He also kind of looks like Sid the Sloth when you can see his teeth.
All right. Potato says, Jason, do you like your new haircut? And yes, Alyssa did a great job, but I'm not taking my hat off because Alyssa will laugh at me because it looks so silly on the camera. So
it does. It looks way worse.
Yeah. Alyssa did a good job. So maybe we'll just never go to the barber again and we'll just save all that money. And it worked out pretty good. Here's one from Life is Good. Says, question with fireworks. Do you guys worry about sand colic very much? I was so afraid of feeding hay on the ground because I had a horse that got sand colic. Do you feed them psyllium? That's a common question that we get. And in this part of Idaho, there's not really a big issue with sand colic. Obviously, with Honey in the round pen, we feed her in the big silver feeder to avoid that. And the goal isn't to keep her in there long term. But down in Texas and I'm sure Oklahoma and those.
And I think even like Central Oregon's pretty bad.
Is it bad there too?
Yeah. There's definitely areas that are have some major sand colic issues.
We know about it and we think about it, but it's not usually an issue around here. We would like to get a couple more of those tartar hay feeders, because what we do right now is we feed the grass hay in the feeders and the alfalfa on the ground. Because if we put everything in the feeder, they fling the grass hay out to get to the alfalfa, and then they would step on all the grass hay while they're eating the alfalfa.
And it makes it worse than
Yeah.
just feeding alfalfa on the ground.
But yeah, good question. And that's something for people to keep an eye on. So thank you for sharing. Here's one from Christian. Says, I thought I needed to completely retrain myself to work with mules, but I train very similar to you guys. How much does your horse handling, everything you learned from Buck, translate to mules?
I would say 100%.
100%. Yep.
Yep.
And it's my favorite quote is from Tom Dorrance, who was, I'm sure you know the lineage, above like pre-Buck. It went Tom Dorrance, Ray Hunt, Buck. He said you have to treat a mule the way you should treat a horse, and that is definitely stuck with me, and it definitely seems true from our perspective. So yep, it's basically the exact same. You might just need to have more patience. A lot of people who get along with horses and say mules are awful, they're just the kind of people that just force their horses to do stuff, which it doesn't sound like you do. So I would say you probably just translate directly over to mules. Yep. Good question, though. I love that question. Chris is on here. Christopher Talent says the Riata video was one of my favorites. Mine too, Chris. Yeah, that was a special one. I need to rewatch it. Here's one from Rindy. Says, are you going to keep posting shed hunting videos on the main channel? I enjoy going along.
Maybe if we take the equines and do one, maybe we'll post them on here. But
yep.
A lot of times we just go on foot because it's too brushy and steep where we go for the equines. Like we really couldn't ride them very much. So anyway, those we usually post over on the other because it doesn't really have anything to do with the equines. But yeah. Yep. That's kind of the delineation. And we'll put them on here if we take the mules. We'll put them on there if we don't take the mules. Peggy says, what are you training Rooster to do now? Kind of just refinement. Yeah. Just working on refining stuff and I don't know, just overall softness. Yeah. Exposure to new things. And yeah. He's doing well. Last time he had, I don't know, when we took him to the arena and filmed with Taz, he was coming off like a kind of a big layoff and he just like cruised right into it. Yeah, he's so impressive. Did really well. Yeah, he does really well. Every once in a while he gets like a little silly, kind of like Clyde does now, and you can tell he's kind of got some energy and stuff, but he's just a good boy. He really tries hard. And he gets unsure about stuff, but he doesn't like, knock on wood, he doesn't bolt. He usually just like does the sideway thing and then he's like, oh gosh. So he's a pretty good boy. He's really good. A little more altitude says, I'd be terrified to go up and say hi, but I can see Alyssa seeing my service dog with his mullet and being and then I would say hi. So we'll keep an eye out for a service dog with a mullet, and then we'll make sure we say hi to that person, and hopefully it's you. A little more altitude. Yeah. That's funny. No, come say hi if you guys see us, please. It would make our day. Here's another one. We do need to go pretty soon. Today is going to be the first day we get to let the mules out on pasture a little bit. Before we feed them, we're going to start easing them onto some green grass. And so we'll probably give them 10 minutes out there or something. Yeah, probably at the most. So. We do need to go pretty soon, but let's hit a few more here real quick. Ava Greer says, what's your favorite trail that you've been on? The one that always pops in my head is the French Creek Trail at Custer State Park. That was really cool. It might not be my favorite. There might be a different one, like we rode down in South Central Utah in the Red Rocks, and that was cool. But the one that always pops in my head was horse camping at Custer State Park and riding that French Creek Trail and the lightning and thunder, and there were bison, and that was just perfect. What about you? That one was really cool. We've been on some cool ones in Wyoming, but yeah. Cool ones in Wyoming. In the wilderness with Ty. Yeah. That was stunning. I can't believe I kind of forgot about that one. Yeah, that was so really cool. Pretty. Yeah, we've been blessed. Than I thought getting up there though. Like it was a little more technical than I thought it was going to be. So. Yeah, but once you get up there in that country, there's tons of lakes and stuff. Oh man, it's amazing up there. Just amazing. We've been super fortunate to go on a lot, but the one that always pops in my head is Custer State Park. Here's one from Rosemary Abbott. Says, what's going on with Honey?
We kind of covered that already.
Yeah.
Just kind of taking it slow and just getting her where she's more at peace in general. And I get to do a little bit with her, just letting her eat out of my hand, just like holding a flake of hay, and then I'll drop her hay in the big silver water trough. And so she has to stick her head way down in there, and I'll just stand right over it on the outside of the pen. But it's kind of what would that be called? Like not a risky situation for her. I got editing brain and I can't think of words. They're hard, but like a compromised spot for her to be in with her head tucked down in that metal trough with me standing right over the top of her. And she just eat, and then she'll lift her head up and just look at me. And I'm really enjoying that. So that's where we're at with Honey, just kind of taking it slow and easy and giving her a little piece. Here's one from Dawn says, please remind me the name of your other channel. It's just called Mountain Built Hunts. MTN Built Hunts. And we haven't posted anything on there for a while. We want to. We think we're going to be able to, but we haven't yet. So, yeah, someone said 488 tuned in right now. Yeah, there's almost 500 people on here. So thank you guys.
If I could see all your faces in front of me, there'd be no way I would even be able to make a sound. So it's good I can't see you.
Yeah. You'd have to picture them all naked.
That doesn't even work.
It doesn't work.
Too terrifying.
No. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Larry says, try a blend friend comb when you're fading my hair. We'll have to look that up. I never heard of it.
I'll have to try that. Do you have any kind of like head locking devices to keep his head still? Suggest those if you do.
Get squirmy sitting there. Here's one from Philippians 4:8. Did you know good news for Hayden Powell? He put out a video. Yes, we did see that, and we were so pumped. We haven't met Hayden. Sorry, I got excited, started yelling. We haven't met Hayden and his wife. But it sounded like they were trying to have kids for a while, and it was like kind of an ongoing struggle, and they weren't sure, but that now they just announced that they're pregnant. And so if you guys want to go over to Hayden's channel, which is called Wichita Mule School, spelled, I think it starts with an OA. It's not spelled with a W, but something like that. So Wichita Mule School, and tell him congrats. That'd be awesome, because he seems like a really good kid. We've talked to him via email. We watch his channel, and we're pumped for him and his wife. People like that need to have kids. We need good people to have good kids coming up. Thanks for bringing that up, Philippians 4:8. Will you do any kind of competition with Rooster, is a question from Pitbull.
Maybe.
Mountain shooting.
I think mountain shooting would be fun. We live pretty rurally, so to haul to any kind of like competition or like practice for anything is like, it's an all day ordeal, and it's a long ways. So that's the biggest thing. So there's just not a lot that happens around here, and I have to haul really long ways to go do anything. So
oh, this is a nice one. These are some of my favorite comments. This is from Wayne Moore 209. Says 82 years young, so kind of living this life vicariously through you. I'm over my head electronically, but I believe as long as I can breathe, I can learn. I hope jewels are a donation. I think jewels help promote the channel, but it's funny how YouTube does different things.
Yeah, I don't know.
It might be. I can look into it. But regardless, Wayne, thank you for watching. And it is such an honor to have people like you watching our channel and living vicariously through the life that we get to live. It really is an honor that you would spend your time with us. So thank you. Thank you for watching. Here's a question from Mirka 2. Have you tried giving Honey pieces of apple? Would she even eat it? That I bet she would out of Alyssa's hand. She would be scared to like touch my hand if I set the apple on there.
Yeah, she's real weird about her muzzle. So I don't know. She doesn't like to touch your hand. Like that's weird for her. So she'll eat hay if it's like, she can reach out and grab like a cluster of hay. But if she has to eat like wherever my hand is, out of the palm of your hand, and she like touches your palm, it wigs her out still. Sometimes she will every once in a while, but some days she's real touchy about it. So
she's a grab and go type of gal.
Yeah, and she doesn't want to feel your hand.
What we are going to do is move some panels around and make her pen a little smaller and start kind of shrinking the bubble a little bit, working with some touch with like a lunge lunge stick or whatever they're called. And that's going to be kind of the next step now that she's feeling good. She doesn't look ulcery. She's filling
Yeah.
out, taking a lot of naps. We'll start kind of pushing it a little bit.
And we've gotten some really good, like, I don't know, like Liberty Work body language established. So I think that's going to help a lot too. So
as a foundation to return to, if she gets like really worried, yeah, they kind of have that mutual trust now to come back to. Yeah, let's see. Let's do a couple more. We're almost up to an hour. We were only, when we logged on with our editing brains and having to feed after this, we were like, let's shoot for a half hour. But this is actually really refreshing.
We lose track of time doing this.
Yeah. Here's one from Christian. Oh, yeah, I tried pronouncing this before. I'll just say Christian. Says, you've casually mentioned your possible future plans to breed mules one day. Is there anything to elaborate on there? I thought that was super interesting.
Well, Jason has been looking daily for a very nice Appaloosa mare because he wants to breed an Appaloosa mare so bad for a mule baby.
I've been diving down the rabbit hole.
He really has.
I'm so excited. If the thing that we're like cryptically talking about works out, we would have plenty of space, and that would be a possibility. And it hadn't been a possibility on this property. But I would be super excited to try and find a good, well-bred, well-built, good-minded brood mare, like Appy, and maybe a draft cross. And anyway, it's something we'd really like to do.
We're really not like super interested in breeding a ton of stuff. There's so many equines already out there, but like the mules that we'd want to breed, I feel like there's not that many out there. And it's so nice to be able to raise them from babies, whether you buy them as weanlings as well. It's just, they're very expensive. Breeding's not cheap either. So anyway,
I think there's like an overabundance of like good B+ type horses out there.
Yes.
I don't think there's an overabundance of good B+ type mules out there. That's
or
just
even
my
A-type mules out there.
Well, certainly not A-type mules.
Yeah,
I'm saying B-type up.
Yes, yeah.
I'm saying like B up.
Yeah, like there's definitely some people that really have a lot of mare power, and they breed some really nice quarter horse mares and get some amazing mules that are like cutting bred, and they breed such nice mares to jacks to get these mules. And there's a ton of like Belgian mules, but there's not, I don't know, I feel like
just good trail mules is what I'm interested in.
Yeah, that have like some good bone to them and some good size to them, and that would be something we'd be interested in like raising the foals and really putting a good foundation on them, and just where they've been handled, very kindly, but also just to have some groundwork done and stuff. So that's what, I don't know, maybe we'd like to do.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's like we're not close to making that move yet, but it is a possibility in the future, and one that makes me nervous because I just don't know a lot about it, but I'm having a lot of fun reading about it. I talk to AI about it pretty much every day, so AI knows everything, so I'm basically an expert.
I came in and looked at my computer, and Jason had like downloaded an Appaloosa's ad onto there, and he's like asking like what the odds would be, would he get a like spotted mule baby to like ChatGPT.
Yeah, well, if you guys have dove into color genetics, it is like really hard to understand for someone like me. So I was like, can you dumb this down for me, AI? But anyways, we'll move on from that. But
so anyway, we have thought about it, and it's something we might want to do. We definitely need to make sure we find like a really super good vet, because I know things can go wrong in a hurry, and that makes me really nervous. So anyway.
I lost my spot. You can keep going. I was saying because I found it. Yeah, it's something we're interested in. Sorry, I distracted Alyssa there. This one's from Susan. It says, you probably already said this. Found Riata video. Oh, nice. A rare and controversial equine introducing Riata.
That is, I think we were talking about the done factor in that one. That one's not her. Like,
wait, don't watch that one if that's the one I made. That one's so embarrassing.
The Zonkey one?
Is that?
It might be.
Oh gosh, don't watch that one, Susan. That one's so embarrassing.
It's not. I'll make a post after this, and
you want to look it up real quick
and post it. Well, I'll just link it. That would be easier.
Excuse me.
So I'll make a post and I'll link it. So watch for that post.
Blue EQ says, will you plan on more Mustangs in the future? Absolutely. That's our number one goal and priority. Mules are close second, but we
Sorry, I
would.
missed the question.
Will you plan on more Mustangs in the future?
Yes.
Absolutely. We really want to gentle and find good, loving homes for Mustangs. That's kind of on the top of our list once we have more space and an area to train. And so absolutely, there will be many more Mustangs, Lord willing, in our future and probably even the very near future. We were talking about, I don't remember where we were driving. We do a lot of our talking in the car while we're driving around, but probably up to Mustang Matt's. But anyways, we were talking about how nice it would be to have a couple of other Mustangs along with Honey, because Honey is just like going to be just slow and steady. And it would be really rewarding to just be like, all right, we'll just spend an hour with Honey every day and not really gain a lot of ground right off the bat, but also to have a couple more that are closer to the rooster end of the spectrum, where you can just be enjoying them and enjoying their quick progress and their curiosity and stuff like that while you're taking it slow with the tougher ones. So in the future, we'll probably be doing that, maybe a couple at a time. We really want to do, can I tell them our exciting idea that we really want to do?
Yeah, I think that'd be fun to do.
We really want to do a husband versus wife Mustang challenge where we both adopt a Mustang at basically the same time. And we just go through the daily, like we would probably put a time limit and like set up some fun rules and stuff. The priority would be good horsemanship and setting the horse up for success, but do like a husband versus wife challenge where we each get an hour videoed a day. So she would video me for an hour working with mine, and I would video her for an hour working with hers, and we would kind of go through the whole process together.
We'd get kind of like same age, same gender, probably.
Yeah.
Kind of like equal playing fields as much as possible.
Yeah.
Each pick out our own horse. He could pick out which one he wants. I'll pick out which one I want to adopt. And they would be to rehome. So it'll probably be like a yearling or 2-year-old is what we'll do for that. And then we'll have maybe like weekly little challenges. Like it might be, picking up all 4 feet at some point, or like haltering and leading, or I don't know, like doing an obstacle course or like trailer loading. And then you guys can judge us who won. And of course, like if one or the other's horse is not ready, we'll just work with them where they're at. And it's, so it's totally a fun thing. And it'll be a fun little competition. But like you said, the horses come first. So it's not going to be something that we're like pushing past their limits to get done. But I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
It'll just be a friendly competition. So
we don't take anything too serious on here, but it would be kind of a fun thing to do together. Let's see. Do you think Rooster not being in the wild made his training easier versus Honey, who was in the wild? I think it just is. I think maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
well, and first, like Rooster wasn't wild. He was a baby. But he was rounded up when he was like 6 months old. Honey was rounded up as like a 3.5-year-old. Both of them spent 1.5 years in holding. So Rooster didn't spend like a crazy amount of more time than Honey did in holding. So he was a 3-year-old when we got him. Honey's a 5-year-old. So she's only 2 years older. That being said, like I do think a little like an older horse that's been out in the wild, definitely like on a broad spectrum, like across the board, is going to be a little harder to gentle than a baby that was, born in captivity or was out in the wild for a short amount of time, or just is younger when you adopt them. They're going to have more curiosity probably than an older horse. But that being said, like Rooster and Honey are very different horses. So if I would have got Honey as a yearling and Rooster as a yearling, they would have been very different from each other. Or if I would have got Rooster as a 5-year-old that had been out in the wild for 3.5 years, I think he would have been still pretty easy to gentle. Like he would have been curious with people, I think, So they're just very, very different personalities. Like there's been lots of people that have taken horses much, much older than Honey that have been out in the wild for a long time and had an easier time with them. So, I mean, as much as, it'd be like, oh yeah, that's definitely the difference. It's just Honey's just a different horse than Rooster. So
yeah, real quick before I skip over him again, I saw a comment on here. It says you skipped over your own cousin twice, and I was like, who's that from? And it's from my cousin Tobias. Hey Toby, how's it going, buddy? I'm sorry I skipped over you. I almost skipped over you. again just now. But yeah, I got excited when I saw you on there from over there in that Seattle country. So thanks for hopping on here, Toby. We love you and miss you. You'll have to come over here and ride some mules with us. Maybe you'll hop on the live from this end of it. But we love you and your family, and we miss you. So sorry I missed your comment. I miss a lot of people's comments on here. Speaking of which, let's do one last question here. Here's one from Potato. It says, forgot to add a question mark. Where did Alyssa get those coveralls or overalls? It's her favorite.
I don't even know.
Favorite outfit in the winter.
I don't even know what brand they are.
I think
they're Key.
Yeah.
So probably at a feed store somewhere. Is my guess.
We'll do one more question after this.
They're great though.
They're nice.
As long as you don't mind looking like you've put on a bunch of weight.
As long as you don't mind 1,000 people on YouTube saying you're too big for your horse, then go for it with the overalls.
If I wear these and a jacket on top, guaranteed someone's going to tell me I'm way too big for my horse. So. Yeah.
Okay, now this really is the last question. Then we got to go kick the mules out and horses out on the pasture, which is exciting. It's one of our favorite days of the year.
Yes.
It really is. I love kicking them out there and watching them start eating. They just love it.
Yeah.
This one's from Michael Rue. Is a riding horse ready for a pack saddle, or is there training needed between the two? And that's a great question. I have a thought, but do you have any? You can go first.
I mean, I think it's probably easier for them to transition over to packing because they've already had a rider and a saddle and all that. Usually pack saddles have a britchin on them. And so that could be a little bit different for a horse. So you work with ropes and stuff around there. But anyway, get them used to that. Going downhill, that can grab them. That might be loose going uphill. And then when they start going downhill, it'll start getting tighter, and that can kind of freak them out. And then the other thing is just like noises in your packs, so if you have something rattly, like if you're going to use a manty, like the big canvas thing, that can kind of freak them out depending on your horse. So if your horse is pretty bomb proof, it probably won't care. If it's a little touchier of a saddle horse, then you might need to go slow and introduce things. I always like to just, plan for the worst and just introduce things slowly. And even if you think they're going to do great, just kind of, do things, one thing at a time, take it easy on them and see what they can handle. So,
yep. I'll just add, she kind of touched on ropes. Just make sure they're really good with ropes in general, because loading up is kind of a mess of lash cinches and ropes. Also, rattly boxes and stuff can be kind of scary. She touched on that. And then they'll just take a little time while you're going down the trail to probably learn where their boxes are. They might slam into trees and stuff, but that's just normal, and they'll just probably get used to it.
Yeah.
So
ropes all over their legs, ropes like coiled on the ground in front of them in weird positions, like ropes everywhere. Just get them used to where, they don't mind that. If a rope slides against their leg or underneath them or whatever, you can fling it over the top of them and stuff. That'd be great. So,
yep. All right. Well, thank you guys for everyone whose questions I missed, because I see I didn't get to all of them on the side there. We're kind of out of time now. We'll be back hopefully Friday. I don't really know our plan for the whole week yet, but hopefully Friday for Feed With Us Friday. And if not, we'll try and catch you next Monday for Mountain Built Monday. But we thank you guys for joining us and making our Monday better, because we were zoned out and shut down for the day. And now I feel happy, and we get to go put our mules out on pasture. So thank you guys. And I hope you guys have an awesome week. We really do appreciate you. Catch you on the next one.
Bye. Bye, Eddie. She's asleep.
She's like,